right, live from Bowdoin College Town. Welcome in, Noles fans, to another edition of Inside Seminole Football with Mike Norvell. My name is Jeff Culhane. Great show for you tonight as we get ready for another ACC road test heading far, far out west. You can't get any further west in the continental United States, and that's where we're going to go to continue this 2025 campaign. Great show. Micahi Danzy is going to stop by tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Tallahassee's own. What a year he's having. And we'll also talk with defensive line coach Terrence Knighton on the program today as well. Without further ado, let's give it up for the head man, Mike Norvell, here with us this evening. Coacher, good to see you as always. I know, obviously, over the last 2 days, you look back, you analyze, you're looking at the things that you're looking to improve upon overall with your football team. Certainly not a case of not having the want to. You guys are playing their tails off. Kind of take us into your space with what you look at, what you start to break down when you're looking at your team and getting better right now.
Yeah, obviously it's unfortunate coming up. You're short in any contest, and obviously Saturday, we had our opportunities, and there was, I thought a lot of fight. Guys, responding throughout the course of the game. And there was just, some elements that giving up too many plays, not making enough of them, and then having some costly errors that showed up throughout the course of the game, and that were critical. And unfortunately, we came up short. And you go back, you watch the film, and you're trying to find those things that are the issue. Are there issues that are consistently showing up that trying to see where we have to make the immediate adjustment, the immediate change, and then are there things that are showing up due to different circumstances by a game plan or by a different look that we might be seeing. And obviously as a big picture, the thing that coming out of that game, I thought there was some hesitation that showed up on the defensive side of the ball. Some elements were times that some guys were it looked as if they were just trying not to mess up in some moments, and we had opportunities. Certain things communication wise that we have to get corrected, and ultimately just didn't make enough plays throughout the course of that contest. I think it's a good offensive team, but one that we definitely had a chance to finish that game better than what we did offensively. We did experience some injuries on that side of the ball. We got deep into the depth of our receiver room. So excited about Micahi Danzy and the job that he did, and how he was able to rise to the occasion. Made a lot of good plays, but it was a test. And I thought offensively, for the most part, did some really good things. That was a good pit defense we went against. Had some drives there in the second half that we've got to continue to do a better job of. And the second half turnover was something that we had the turnover and then a couple penalties that really cost us in that game. And so everybody has a scope of improvement and things that we need to do. I believe in this team. I believe in the guys that we get to do it with. And but it like I said a week ago, it's about the application. It's about being able to go out there and get the job done. And we have a road game, across the country, come Saturday night that, it has to show up. And, I thought our guys, the mindset, the belief, how they are together, I see it, I feel it, and I have a full sense of confidence of, what it will be. But, the work that's ahead is real, and it's there for us.
I know you preach it to your guys, next man up. You're always one play away, no matter where you are in the depth chart. You have to be ready to go. For your young wide receivers that got the opportunity, because you were essentially four of your top pass catchers down in that game on Saturday, how does that continue to be a teaching message to those young guys to say, hey, we need you to be ready, even though you may not get the reps?
It's and some of those guys, you're seeing the progression, you're seeing the work that's going in, but when you're thrown in there and everything's on the line, that's where it's got to show up. And it's not just what you're doing with the ball in your hands, or when obviously the route depths, the conversions, the things that you've got to be able to do when the ball's not in your hands. Make sure you're getting on the right guys, and then being ready to compete at an elite level. And I thought there were some good things that showed up, but also some areas of improvement that's necessary. And these are young receivers that are in there. Some of them getting really their first extensive action in that. And I'm excited about the steps that they will take. But it's also it shows you. It doesn't matter where you are within the course of the season. You've got to be ready, because because unfortunately we had 4 guys that have went down, and excited about getting some of those guys back and being able to continue to boost the room of the guys that we have. But it was there, and something that we had to adapt to throughout the course of that game.
Time now for our truest hero of the game, and it's going to be our student-athlete guest later in the show. Micahi Danzy was fantastic. As Coach talked about the depth, needed guys to step up. Micahi did that and then some against a tremendous Pitt defensive unit, and Micahi Danzy had a career day catching the football, 2 big touchdown receptions, taking the roof off like he's capable of with his speed. Micahi Danzy, our truest hero of the game. And you have high expectations for all of your players. That's why they're here at Florida State. But Micahi, as a big play guy in his second season as a dual sport guy as well, is even surprising you a little bit with some of the things he's showing you out there on the field.
Yeah, and I go back, as I'm watching Micahi and what he's doing on the field now, I think back to when I went and through the recruiting process. I remember I got a chance to go to one of his high school games, and for what you saw, he's playing running back. A guy that he's tall, he's long. Wasn't the biggest guy in the world, but you felt the strength that he played with, and the burst, the acceleration. I mean, it's easy to know that he's fast on the track, but when you see that and you feel it on the football field, and how he's transitioned from the running back position to wide receiver, even in the midst of all the things that he was doing this offseason, when it came to football and the focus being on track, but you see his confidence continuing to grow, and even through the first 6 games. He's had some high moments. He's had some, disappointing plays, but I mean, he's just, you see him growing in his confidence. You see him, the belief, the continued development as a route runner, and all the things that he can do with the ball in his hands. Just is so excited about what his future is going to be, and just the impact that he's making on this team. Yeah,
Micahi set career highs with 7 catches, 133 yards, and 2 touchdowns against Pitt. And he ranks first in the ACC in 20-yard plays, 30-yard plays, 40-yard plays. I'll keep going. 50-yard plays and 60-yard plays. He's right there near the top as well of all things nationally. 48 yards per touchdown this season. That's big play capability.
So keep getting him ball. Keep getting him the ball. Around that 50-yard line. That's good. Yes.
That's exactly right. Really good stuff from Micahi Danzy. You'll hear from him later in the show. Our truest hero of the game. When you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. So start feeling like it today. Visit Truist.com/care. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC. And we are live here at Bowden's in College Town, a proud partner of Florida State Athletics, and of course our host location of Inside Seminole Football with Mike Norvell. Monday night, 7 to 8 p.m., Bowden's in College Town. We'll take a timeout. We'll talk more about Mike Norvell's explosive offense and the playmakers when we return on the other side. Monday night here at Bowden's in College Town. We are back after this timeout. And we are back Monday night here at Bowden's in College Town. Welcome back, Noles fans, to Inside Seminole Football with Mike Norvell as Florida State hitting the road in ACC play. We'll talk about that road trip out to Stanford coming up a little bit later on in the program. Did want to make mention that Monday nights, yes, we are here. We will not be here next Monday night. No show with the bye week. So our next Inside Seminole Football 2 weeks from today, probably because we'll all still be sleeping from that road trip from Stanford all the way out west, which is a 10:30 p.m. Eastern kick. I expect everyone to be up for the whole game on Saturday night watching and listening. Sounds good? All right, we got people locked in. There we go. Coach, your offense has been wide awake all season long with explosive plays left and right. You lead the country with 14 plays of at least 40 yards. And your running game, explosive. 55 rushes of 10 yards or more, second best in all of college football this season. And you've done so against really good defenses. How has this group continued to meet the standard, the expectation of what you want to do?
I think there's a great deal of buy-in, just in the preparation. Obviously we got some great playmakers on that side of the ball, and I think Coach Malzahn's done a wonderful job of being able to showcase the skills, the talents, and being able to have the versatility. Because what I love about it is just the balance. I mean, for what we're able to do on the run in the running game, to how that's tying together in the passing game with the vertical shots, stretching people sideline to sideline, and allowing us to stay aggressive throughout throughout the game, of regardless of whether it's run on the ground or in the air. Forcing people to defend the entire field, and our guys are continuing to grow and develop that continuity together, and excited about where it's going to continue to go.
Take me through the mindset of a play caller as you go through it, because I know you're trying to get things in, work things in, but you're setting stuff up for later on in the game. Kind of walk us through that and how it's so effective from your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's one of the things when you watch Gus and just how he goes about it, and it's obviously who I came up under and got my start under. It's the plays that can set up plays, and it's the same as presentations to be able to attack different areas of the field. Being able to be able to understand the answers of what people are trying to give. You got to take what people give you, but then you want to be aggressive to force the issue, waiting rather than always being reactive. And I think that being able to keep people off balance and you have that attack style mentality is something that's really been good. I think we've been great on third downs. Being able to go out there and keep a good run pass balance, and like I said, it's the confidence that our guys have in what they're being asked to do, and obviously being able to showcase the best of their abilities and how they operate.
Yeah, combining third and fourth down conversions, your conversion efficiency rate is 68.4% this season, best in the ACC and fourth best nationally. So you're on those money downs, as you guys call it. You're getting it done on the offensive side, extending drives and staying out there on the field. And you talk about making plays. Landon Thomas comes in and Randy Pittman's out. He's been playing so well for you, and Landon gets his opportunity, steps up. Tommy, I thought might have been throwing it away at one point, but he threw it up and made it Landon get in a position where he could make a great play for that score at the end of the half.
No, I thought that was a great drive. Just to be right there before the half. Being able to operate in a 2-minute situation. We utilized timeouts. We're able to gain another possession, and then land into somebody that the beginning of the season. You had an injury there towards the end of summer. Was really limited. For most of all fall camp. Was able to get him back and rolling. Kind of in a part-time effect, and then just to see him go out there in that game. Him or Keyston having to answer the call with Randy being out, and it was great to see him make a play in that moment. Mark Houston had a couple screen passes that he was able to catch and convert a third down, and had a couple good plays as well. So I really like that room. We're very, very hopeful and feeling confident that we'll get Randy back in the mix this week, and so for all three of those guys to continue to grow on their high level of play.
Gavin Sutchuk has been a great addition, obviously, in the running back room here in his first year at Florida State. He always has this visibility, the vision to see where things are opening up as they are closed prior to that happening, and he always seems like he falls forward. He's always moving in the right direction. How do you describe him as a runner within your system?
Yeah, he's got great burst and acceleration, but I mean he is he brings an element of patient running, but also with that burst and acceleration, he's if there's daylight that's going to show, he's going to put himself in that space, and so he also catches the ball really well out of the backfield. I think he's shown that at a very high level, and his maturity, his love, his intelligence. I mean, all those things as a teammate, is something that he's just been such a great fit for our football program, and he has produced at a high level. Unfortunately, with Roy Dell being limited, throughout the better part of this year so far. I mean, I think Gavin has really embraced that role as an older guy that has experience, and bringing along some of the young backs that we have, and Usman has done a great job here as a true freshman and what he's able to do. But when you see a guy with a versatile skill set like Gavin, with a toughness and a mindset that he brings, I mean, it really does wonders for that room.
Offensively, Florida State, that group, explosive, no question about that, and they'll bring that out to the West Coast against Stanford on Saturday night. As Florida State football, presented by Florida Farm Bureau Insurance, a proud partner of Florida State Athletics. And odds are beaten here. Wolfson Children's, always here, official children's hospital of Florida State Athletics. We're just getting rolling here with the head coach Mike Norvell on Monday night. Great show for you, talking all things Florida State football. Stay with us. Live from Bowdens in College Town, we are back after this timeout.
Inside Seminole Football.
And we continue on Monday night, live from Bowdens in College Town. How about a big round of applause for our Florida State cheerleaders? We appreciate those young ladies coming out and welcoming us back into the program here on Monday night, as our program is brought to you in part by 4 Points by Sheridan Tallahassee downtown. Experience comfort and convenience in the heart of the city at 4 Points by Sheridan Tallahassee downtown. With stunning floor-to-ceiling windows, our rooms offer some of the best views in Tallahassee. Sleep comfortably and cheer proudly. 4 Points by Sheridan. Coach, defensively, you saw some takeaways from your group as they were able to go out. Big ones in the game. Earl Little Jr. got his second pick of the year, bracketing a Pitt receiver. And what a huge turnover and takeaway by Edwin Joseph in the end zone. Man, you get picks like that in the score zone, gives your team a boost and can certainly flip momentum in a big-time way.
No, it can, and that's one thing we've been continually to harp on is creating those takeaways. It's something that is a staple of what we want to be and what we want to be known for. Obviously, we had a couple other opportunities. With a couple forced fumbles that we weren't able to get on. I mean, they got the right bounce
yes,
on the two balls that we're able to get out. But and as we're continuing to grow in it, I think our defensive backfield, they're growing up with each week. Obviously there's still things that we've got to improve on. At all levels of our defense. And I mean that Pitt offense have been playing really well. Man, they were very efficient. Their quarterback was able to extend plays. We've got to clean up some of the things in our pass rush lanes, and you're being able to keep them contained. And there were a few breakdowns that we had, and like I said, just some missed opportunities. Times that we had a free runner on him, and he made us miss, and ultimately that resulted in negative plays for us and our defense. And so a lot of opportunity for growth. And I know when you look on that side of the ball, we've got some young players that are out there making an impact, and got big expectation for what's ahead for us. It's just one of those things that needs to show up and be applied come Saturday night.
Yeah, speaking of one of those young players, Mandrell Desir was named a mid-season freshman All-American by On3 earlier today by that online publication. He's been playing some excellent football in his true freshman year, as has Darryl, for sure.
No doubt. Yeah, I mean, you got three true freshmen that are playing on that defensive line, and with Kevin Wynn also back in action, and being able to that was his second game, and you really you feel his presence when he's out there. I mean, I think all three of those guys you have elite futures in front of them, but it's still some of those things that as you're kind of learning on the run. I think they're going to continue to take leaps and bounds of growth and obviously awareness throughout the course of the game. As the season continues to progress. But it's a very talented group, but it's one that we're all growing up there with them together, and excited about some of the things that they've been able to do.
Time now for our keys to success, brought to you by Scott & Wallace, the official injury lawyers of Florida State Athletics. Scott & Wallace with offices in Tallahassee. Stanford, the opponent this week. How much of it is the logistics, getting guys physically, mentally ready to go with a long trip as it is the game plan and execution in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, everything matters this week. And, for our prep, for our the corrections that need to be made, the application that has to show up, I want to see this team go out and just cut loose. And, I want to play with our hair on fire for 3.5 hours, no hesitation, make sure we have 11 playing as one. There might be a play where you get knocked down, but, man, if you're doing with everything that you have, get your butt up and go finish it. And I want to have that mindset. Obviously as we're going to play Stanford, you're going to see a lot of different looks. Coach Reich, I mean, he's a lot. You see the elements of the time that he was there in Indianapolis with the Colts, and I mean just that pro attack. They're offensively, and they do just about everything defensively. They're going to show you a lot of different looks. Very aggressive in their approach, and so but for us, it's got to be about our execution, our mindset, and then being able to deal with all the outside circumstances with it, the travel, what that looks like, and I think we got a great plan for our guys. But once they put that ball in the team, and it's time to go, and that's what I'm looking forward to watching our guys perform in that moment.
One more segment coming up with the head coach Mike Norvell as we continue along here on Monday night inside Seminole football. It is our great moment in Florida State football history when we return the last time out in California in the regular season, way back in 1997. We'll touch on that and speak with Coach. One more segment back after this timeout, live from Bowdens in College Town. And we are back. One final segment here with the head coach, Mike Norvell. We appreciate his time very much. Coming up, Micahi Danzy will join us here on the show. What a start to the season for him, coming off a career day versus Pitt on Saturday. Time now for our great moment in Florida State football history. We go back in time to the last time the Noles played a regular season game in the state of California. The opener in 1997 at USC. You saw Bobby Bowden right there with the pregame speech. And it was a defensive slugfest that night in Los Angeles. But the Noles, behind the arm of Thad Busby, were able to string some things together. The defense was fantastic, allowing just 184 yards of total offense against the Trojans. And Florida State would get it done with 41 new faces on that roster of 80 that went out to Los Angeles that night. And Dee Feaster, you saw that, the game-winning touchdown there at the end. 14-7 final score. Last time the Noles were out in California, Coach. Now we go back and ready to get after it this week, I know.
Absolutely, and a lot of excitement just to get back on the field. This team, we were coming back in the meeting. We had a great team meeting, yesterday. Just kind of putting everything out there. We understand, the expectation. We understand the expectation of ourselves, of this team, of the program, and obviously for this wonderful fan base and university. And it's disappointing to have the results that we've had, but we're in control of what the future holds. And our work, our investment, making sure that we stay focused on the things that we get to directly impact. And I've got a lot of excitement about what this team will be and what they will continue to do throughout this week of preparation and all things leading up to kickoff on Saturday night.
Yep, Coach, thanks so much for your time as always, and have a great week getting ready. We appreciate you.
I appreciate everybody coming out, and go Noles.
There you go. That's the head coach Mike Norvell, everyone, live here on Monday nights at Bowdens in College Town. And our program brought to you in part by Truist. When you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. So start feeling like it today. Visit Truist.com/care. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC. Coming up next, Tallahassee native and Florida State standout wide receiver Micahi Danzy stops by the show. We can't wait to hear from him. That more on the way. We are back after this timeout. Great to be back. Fantastic crowd once again. Thanks so much to everybody coming out and joining us here on Monday night as we talk all things Florida State football. The Noles heading out west for a 10:30 p.m. Eastern kick at Stanford on Saturday. It is their homecoming this weekend as well, so a lot of festivities in Palo Alto for the Stanford grads and alum, but should be one heck of a football game to say the least. Hey, time now for our Gear of the Week. Presented by Garnet and Gold. This week's featured item to my right is a Nike men's sideline UV coach's top in white right there, as you see it on our stream. That is our Garnet and Gold Gear of the Week. Garnet and Gold, locally owned and operated for over 40 years. Visit one of their 3 locations here in Tallahassee and pick up your new game day gear. Well, speaking of Tallahassee, we're really excited to be joined on our main table by wide receiver Micahi Danzy is in the house, everybody.
Thank you.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm good.
It's great to see you. Man, what a start to the season for you. I mean, just been phenomenal. Explosive plays across the board. How would you describe what you're seeing out there and how things have gone for you here in the first 6 games of this regular season, Micahi?
It's definitely shocking to me, but I've been doing it in practice, so I just do what I do in practice. It's no different to me.
Yeah, I mean, someone that obviously you got a lot on your plate as a dual sport star, was one of the best out there in the ACC in track and field this last spring. Now you've carried that over into your second full season as a football player here at Florida State University. Describe a day in the life of Micahi Danzy. You got a ton going on right now. Kind of walk us through all the things that you have to be organized with and prepared for, big guy.
You want the spring?
Let's do both. Let's go. Let's start with spring. When you had to do both, you had track and you were doing spring ball last spring. Yeah.
So I have lift at 7, and then I have class, academics, and then I had to go straight to practice. And then I had to go after practice. I had to walk straight to meetings, practice, and restart. And that was 7 to 7 basically. So yeah.
That was a day. That was just
sir.
one day, by the way. That was just one day in the life of Micahi Danzy right there. As you have continued to learn that wide receiver position, and obviously Coach Malzahn's offense has showcased your skill set in a lot of different ways, just talk about how you've been able to kind of insert yourself into those big plays with where Coach Malzahn lined you up and how it's all clicked together for you with your explosiveness and speed, Micahi.
Coach Malzahn just want to put you in the best position. He want to use my speed, so he want to get me on the perimeter. He know I'm gonna get the ball, so like the post, like I'm going to go get it. So he just puts you in the best position, and that's what I'm grateful for him.
When did you know you were fast? How young were you? When was the first time you're like, yeah, I'm faster than everybody? Like there's nobody that's faster than me anywhere. How old were you?
I was probably like 4 years old.
4?
Yes, sir.
4 years old. Do you remember the race, or were you just faster than somebody older than you? Do you recall?
Yes, sir. Like track meets, I used to win a lot, so like I just knew it was something different about me.
Yeah, absolutely. Growing up here in Tallahassee, what was it like as someone that went to Florida High, and then of course watching the Garnet and Gold to be able to play and continue to carry out your dreams at Florida State University? What's it meant to you so far, Micahi?
It definitely meant a lot. My family, they watch me every week. My dad, he sees himself in me. Like I say, I'm lost for words right now. Yeah. So that's all I got.
Yeah, no, it's exciting stuff, and it's been fun to watch you go out. I mean, you've been so successful. The 400 in the ACC last year, he set a new school conference and championship meet record in the 400-meter dash. And this year, we're seeing that speed on display in a football uniform. And I think, and Coach mentioned this earlier, one thing that you have done and continue to show us is your physicality as well, running with the football. Just talk about that mindset where track, you're straightforward. Obviously, you're going to get where you need to go. Football, obviously, you have a few more obstacles in your way before you get to the end zone.
So, I used to be a running back. So when I get the ball, when the ball is in the air, I'm a wide receiver. But when the ball is in my hand, I'm a running back. So it's no different to me running between tackles. So that's all it is me being a running back in that situation.
Yeah. As you have continued to develop that relationship with your quarterback, Tommy Castellanos, how important is that, Micahi, when you talk about that relationship of quarterback to wide receiver, and you guys obviously have developed it very well?
Tommy has a lot on his plate, so you got to build connection, chemistry. He got to trust you. So when he throws the ball, you have to make him look good. Even if it's not the best ball, you have to make him look good. Catch the ball. That's what we have in the wide receiver room. Even when the ball is not the best, we say catch it. We got to make our quarterback look good.
Yeah, and speaking of that, man, you guys had a lot of injuries on Saturday. You obviously stepped up and made some big plays with a career day, 7 catches, 133 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But that next man up mentality, the young guys, yourself in the second year as a player, I mean, that obviously a great lesson for you that, hey, you could be just one play away, no matter the circumstances.
In that situation, I had to mature. Like this season, like I was shocked that I was coming playing. Now it's more like, okay, they need me. So it's more maturing in that situation. Me, Weezy went out there and block his butt off. So like we just had to grow up in that situation.
Yeah, you definitely did. You did so in a great way. I don't know if you have time for anything else besides school, football, and track. But if there is time, what's something Micahi Danzy likes to do that's non-sports related? Do you have a favorite thing, a hobby, anything that gets you going at all?
I don't really have a hobby. I just sleep. Sleep.
You need that's the only time you have in for anything is sleep.
Yeah, sleep.
Get you busy the rest of the time. There you go. I like that. Well, I'll tell you what, congratulations on a great start to this season. You've been tremendous. It's been so fun to go out and watch you play, and continued success here this upcoming weekend beyond, all right?
Yes, sir.
Michahi good. Appreciate you. That's
you,
Micahi Danzy, everyone. He has been such fun to watch here this season, and great to have him here with us on the program as our conversation with our student athletes are brought to you by Seminole Boosters. Did you know that FSU Athletics is self-supported, is not funded by tax dollars? We rely on fans to join Seminole Boosters so your teams have the best chance to succeed on and off the field and the track for Micahi. Membership starts at $5 per month and comes with great benefits. Go online to SeminoleBoosters.com to learn more. Coming up, defensive line coach Terrence Knighton will stop by. Looking forward to talking with T-Knight here on the program. That more on the way. We are back after this timeout. And welcome back as we roll along here on Monday night. We're back in here at Bowdens in College Town. Welcome back to Inside Seminole Football. Terrence Knighton will speak with us here momentarily. Looking forward to that conversation with FSU's D-line coach, as our program is brought to you in part by the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles. Here to remind you that if alcohol is in the mix, driving isn't. Plan ahead, designate a driver, grab a ride share, or stay put. Winning starts with smart choices. Drive sober, arrive alive. Go Noles. And by the great folks at Grassroots Coffee. Every time you buy Grassroots Coffee's End Zone Blend, a portion of each sale goes directly to Florida State's football program. Order the coffee that supports our Noles by scanning the QR code on the screen or the side of the bag right here, and go to the website at grassrootscoffee.com. Grassroots Coffee, made for everyone, loved everywhere. Big round of applause. Our offensive line coach Terrence Knighton is in the house today. Coacher, it's great to have you up here. Thanks so much for your time. And I know you guys are working your tails off and continuing to take the steps forward that you want to take to continue to get better. Kind of take me through what you're seeing right now, and as you continue to grow, some of the things you work on this week to improve.
Yeah. I mean, the goal every week is to improve, right? And, you never want to take, any opponent for granted. So, you just get back to the basics, start from scratch every single week. You respect the opponent, see what they do well, and, go about the process.
Yeah, we were just talking during the break. Coach Knighton played in the National Football League, a professional football player, obviously, and a guy, you're used to that West Coast swing, that West Coast trip, long days. It kind of taxes on you a little bit. What are some of the things that, the wisdom you can share with your guys this week as they get their bodies and minds ready to go for that trip out to Palo Alto?
Stay hydrated and sleep when you're supposed to sleep. But, there's no magic formula to, the winning on the West Coast. You treat it like any other game, and you stick to the script and you just go out there and execute.
Yeah, absolutely. Defensively, I tell you what, you've got some young defensive linemen that have really grown up in a hurry with the Desir twins, with Mandrell and Daryl Desir, and also Kevin Wynn now back from injury as well, big number 55 in the middle. How impressed have you been with those three guys as they continue to learn how to play the game at this level within this system?
Well, first and foremost, they're great kids, and they love football. They love football. They're Seminole scholars. They're doing the right things. They practice hard, and, I can't keep them out of my office from, trying to study extra. And, young guys that play are young guys that go out there and practice hard. So those guys work their butts off, and, they deserve to play, and they got a lot of success ahead of them.
Yeah, and how has a guy like Daryl Jackson Jr. been a mentor and been someone that can show the young guys the ropes and how you do it and what it takes to play at Florida State University?
Right. With him being a future NFL player and, playing the most football in the room, everyone looks to him, whether it's linebackers, DBs, receivers, he's a leader on his team. And each week he takes the right approach. He takes care of his body. He does the right things. And, with him being the big guy in the middle and playing the position that I played, me and him have a very special relationship. But, he requires a lot of attention on Saturday.
Yeah, he does.
And it's allowing the other guys to go out there and make plays. But, he's great to have around.
Yeah, I tell you, I don't know if I've seen someone quite put together like Daryl. I mean, it's
biggest
6'5".
human being I've ever seen.
That's what I say, right?
Absolutely.
Is there anyone you've been around, past, present, because 6'5", 335, and he runs like a linebacker, I mean, physically just imposing there.
Maybe my rookie year when I went to the Jaguars and played with John Henderson. He's
Sure.
about 6'7", 330. But D-Jack is he was created in the lab. He's built a little different. He's 330 and has a six-pack and, 11-inch hands. So he's they call him Avatar. So he's built a little different.
He's going to test well at the combine. I think those measurables are going to go a long way.
He'll be in the top 1%.
Sure. Yes, he will. As Terrence Knighton joins us here on the program, Florida State defensive line coach. Well, you talk about those young guys, the vets as well. Daniel Lyons, I know, is someone that's continuing to take steps forward. I know you guys have been working him to keep making those moves in the right direction overall. How has number 5 continued to do what it takes? How's he elevated himself in certain areas?
Yeah, if there's anybody in the room I'm most proud of, is Daniel Lyons, right? A guy who came in this year, obviously high expectations to go in and start this year, played a lot of football early. He's done the right things with his body. He's gotten bigger, he's gotten stronger, he's becoming more vocal, and he's a very smart football player. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the plays that Dan makes, he's making it prior to the snap even happening. So, he's going to be a great player next year for us. That's going to be a senior in the room, probably the oldest guy, and I'm very proud of his progression so far.
Absolutely. Just getting started here with Terrence Knighton, Florida State defensive line coach. We will take a timeout. We'll talk more about getting ready to go out to Stanford and play the Cardinal, and looking forward to that chat with FSU's defensive line coach Terrence Knighton. Stay with us. Back with more live from Bowdenton College Town. We are back after this timeout. And we are back. One final segment. Great to have Florida State defensive line coach Terrence Knighton with us here on the program, talking all things Noles as we get ready for Stanford coming up on Saturday night. That is at 10:30 p.m. Eastern kick out at Stanford Stadium on the farm. And Inside Seminole Football brought to you in part by Carver's Discount Cleaners. Mean on stains and green on earth. Try new Eco Green Dry Cleaning at Carver's Discount Cleaners, 1215 North Monroe Street in Midtown. And make sure to tune in to Game Day Live with Aria Masudi, Eric Llewellyn, and Emily Peters before all Florida State football home games. The show begins an hour before kickoff. It runs 45 minutes total. Aria, Lulu, Emily get you ready for the matchup while capturing the game day feel in and around Doak Campbell Stadium. Coach, as we mentioned, you were a guy that played in the National Football League, spent time in the NFL. How did those experiences as a player at that level rub off on you and help you out as the coach that you are today?
Right. I think there's little nuances in the game, just from playing it that I can help the guys with. And a lot of times, it's guys at other position groups actually that ask me about players that I played with, how they prepare, how they practice, even trying to get in contact with them. So, I try to use, my influence from playing and also being in the locker room with other great players and, help, shed knowledge to the rest of the guys.
What's the biggest difference for a collegiate player when you're transitioning college football to the NFL, and how it works, the business side of it? What's some of that wisdom that you've been able to share with some of your guys here?
Well, first and foremost is going to be your preparation, right? You can't just show up on Sunday and expect to be successful, and, just teaching the guys those things right now on how to prepare and, like I said, making plays before they happen. And a lot of great players do that. And just taking care of our bodies, hydrating right, the little bumps and bruises at the end of the year that turn into significant injuries, you want to get on those early. So just teaching guys how to be a pro. And like I said, those guys that, whether it's D-line or quarterback or anything, it's always a bunch of guys asking me about that process.
Absolutely. All right, speaking of Stanford this Saturday, Frank Reich's offense, that's a pro style. Speaking of pro, physical offense. They use a lot of tight ends in there and like to run the football and be physical if they can. Kind of take me through what you've seen on film of that group and how you get your guys ready to play here this week.
Yeah, well, when Stanford has been successful, it's when they have been able to run the ball. And, I played against Andrew Luck and, played against their head coach, and, I understand what they're trying to do. And, first and foremost, it always starts with the front. It always starts with the D-line. So, once you can take away the run and make a team one-dimensional, it's easier to play that way. So we got to go up there and throw the first punch and, set the tone and allow our offense to go out there and put up a lot of points with all the weapons that we have. And, just getting a comfortable position we can go out and play fast and have our guys not thinking.
Did you ever sack Andrew Luck in the NFL?
Yes, I sacked Andrew Luck, yes.
There we go.
In Indianapolis.
Yes. Yeah. Very nice. contributed there.
You don't forget the ones you get.
There you go. That's right. Amen to that, Coacher. No question about it. Heard Coach Norvell when we were talking earlier in the show, just talking about a few items he's mentioned, just the application of things carrying over from practice out into the game day on Saturday, talking about continuing to tighten some things up, rush lanes, things like that. What are some of the things that you see with your guys trying to get to the quarterback and how you can take steps forward here this weekend?
Right. What you try to do is when something happens against our favor, you don't want guys to go out there and press and try to do something they're not, they're not coached to do or they haven't been trained to do, and just trying to keep our guys in the moment, take it one play at a time. That's what the climb is about. And Coach has the right message all the time. He has the right message this week, and we're going to take it a day at a time, one play at a time. And for our guys, just focus on the down. Don't think about the play that just happened or the next play. Just taking it one step at a time.
One of those guys you have a special relationship with from your time at Nebraska is James Williams.
Absolutely.
Speak to him and what he means to you as a young man at Nebraska and obviously now here at Florida State.
Well, the great thing about coaching is that you see a guy mature from a freshman to a junior to a senior, and James has done all those things, and he's being a better leader on the field, and this is the most football he's played, right? So he's getting acclimated to that, with the high snap counts and those things, and he's also bringing on those young guys, Daryl DeSere, the Jesse Harold, those young edge guys, and helping those guys. But I'm super proud of James, and statistically it's not what he wants right now, but as long as he continues to play hard, he'll make plays in bunches.
Big keys to success for you, for your group this weekend. What are you working on this week to get ready?
Always stop the run. Always stop the run. And we got to affect the quarterback on third down, whether it's hitting them, whether it's sacking them, just getting them off getting them off rhythm, and let him throw to our DBs and not his receivers.
Yeah, absolutely. How you enjoying Tallahassee so far?
I'm enjoying it. Me and my wife love it here, and we got a new puppy named Boston. So
there we go.
This is home, and we love it.
What kind of dog you got?
A Bernedoodle.
Bernedoodle.
Bernedoodle. I'm a big Celtics fan, so that's why her name is Boston.
Understood. There you go. I got you. Well, I tell you what, it's been fun to watch your group, and we're all looking to see the next steps forward out of them. There's no question about that.
Absolutely.
But we can't wait to see them go out and play against Stanford on Saturday night.
Absolutely. Thank you.
It's great talking to you, Coach. Thanks so much for your
Appreciate
time.
you guys.
That's Terrence Knighton, everybody, stopping by our main table and joining us here on the show as Florida State heads out west here this weekend, taking on the Stanford Cardinal, the first ever meeting between the Noles and the Cardinal, a 10:30 p.m. Eastern kick time. We are on the air on the radio and audio side at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. And so, again, expect all of you guys to stay up with us into Sunday morning. That's the expectation. Please, we'll look forward to talking with you late and early into Sunday morning. That's going to do it for us here on the program today. Big thanks to Terrence Knighton, of Coach. Big thanks to Mike Norvell and Micahi Danzy as well. Shout out my guy Andy Surratt, celebrating a birthday today in his 41st year as a spotter on the Seminole Sports Network. That is right. Happy birthday to the legend. My name is Jeff Culhane. Thanks for coming out, everybody. Have a great night, everyone. And as always, go Noles.